Hello, and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Freddie.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up? What's good? I'll tell you what's good. Our social media accounts. Well, listen, they need to be better. Follow us on all of our socials at the Pickup WNBA podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Do the things that podcasters ask you to do for us as well, like subscribe and be nice. And hey, if you don't do those things, that's also fine. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I don't do shit about it. So just
No,
maybe,
it's not fine. You need to do more for those podcasts.
Yeah,
too,
you know
Freddie.
what? Fair enough. That's true.
Yeah, we can't be that passive over here. But listen, we have a really great show for you. We also have a really special guest joining us this week. He covers the Lynx, he covers the Timberwolves, he covers the Gophers. Just heard of them just now. Just discovered the Gophers. He writes for Sports Illustrated and The Zone. Please welcome Andrew Dukowitz. Hi.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. It's really great to have you on because like Minnesota's having such a phenomenal season and you've got one of the best rookie prospects we've seen in a long time and really exciting stuff. And we thought like, oh, we're going to have this like Minnesota Lynx like episode. This is going to be really great. Let's dive into this. And then in the last week, we've had a green dildo, we've had Ennis Kanter, and we have a new mascot dragon. So there's just a lot going on.
Yeah. we got to go over a lot.
We're going to try and get to all of it the best we can. So we're definitely going to have some Lynx talk for sure. But I think first, let's get some of this other garbage out of the way, shall we?
Yes. And before we get rolling here, let me just say, I might be passive about following us, but make sure you follow Andrew on everything. Like if only for the reason that anyone that has like that tight of a relationship with Cheryl Reeve is an absolute legend to me. Like for Cheryl to know you, I mean, if Cheryl knew me, I would sort of be like, I don't know. I would just like, I think that's it. Like I'm good to go. I'm like, I would feel accomplished. So yeah, for you to have that awesome relationship with her is fun for me to watch from afar.
Yeah, I mean, she's awesome. First year on the beat, I think the first thing I ever asked her, I think the Lynx had like 21 turnovers in a game against Seattle, and I went so what's going on with the turnovers? And we've had a good relationship ever since. She's really like her amount of basketball knowledge and her willingness to like go out on a limb and teach and like want to educate people is something that is really special. Like you don't see it with a lot of coaches where they are just like, yes, media member, come here and let me explain to you how our shell defense works. On the flip side of that, we've also got a relationship where, she tells me they're going to win it for the gays and has a little bit more fun when I ask questions. So 3 years in the making, but we're to a point now where I think we are in a pretty darn good spot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had some brief moments with Cheryl when she's been in town, and she's been like one of the nicest people, really, like really generous with her time and all that. Yeah.
Just gracious and wise, like and puts you at ease. Like she's one of the first people I ever asked a question to when we had the Lynx Sky like preseason exhibition game here. And I was nervous, and she was like, she could tell, right? And she was just very much like, that's okay. Like, you're here for women's basketball, so am I. What's up, dude? And it was great.
She's awesome with beat reporters. Like that's what I'll like crown her for. If she gets the sense that like this is someone that seems like they're around all the time, or like even if you're on an opposing team, if she's like, this guy seems like he has a really good handle on the team, she'll give you the best answers, like the best, most attentive, like eye contact directly at your camera, like awesome. if you're a national reporter and you pronounce like Nafisa's first name wrong, it's over though. Then she doesn't have time for you and it turns into a kind of a toxic answer. But at the same time, like that's part of her charm is,
Yeah.
you come from the East Coast, you kind of develop that tough skin. And yeah, she's brought it up a couple times this year after coming back from Toronto, or after I think the Tempo were here for the first time, of just saying that she feels very proud to kind of have a special part in Toronto getting a team by having that exhibition game there. Like even Pride has said like that's something I'll always remember is doing that game and just having a small part in a new team getting assigned to a city, which it meant something to them for what it's worth.
I mean, it was electric. Like we sold out, and it was just like a euphoric atmosphere. And at the time, Bridget Carleton was like sort of the like, oh, cool, the Canadian star, and Fee was, I think she was still on like mat leave, if I'm not mistaken, or she hadn't come back.
She was there.
I think she was there.
there.
So, yeah, I guess she.
And I think like
yeah.
Natalie Chanwa was still kind of like vaguely with the team. But I will say, like, if you ever talk to them about it again, like we very much felt that game was an audition.
Yeah.
For the team. So like, even like if they got that sense, like we also had that sense. Like no one explicitly said that, but it really, really felt like an audition for the city. So they're definitely not wrong in feeling like they had some kind of a piece in it. Because I really think that they did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Especially like you said, you sell out the arena, awesome vibe for a preseason game. And I will say, like, putting on a show for the Lynx probably doesn't doesn't hurt your chances for a team. Shout out to Missouri who did that. I think it was Kansas City who did that this year, where they're kind of in that running for getting a new franchise as well. Hosted the Lynx and just packed it for them. So I do think that's kind of a pathway to get a team if you're not, like I think Toronto certainly deserves a team. I mean, you guys are filling it up every single game, despite the team struggling.
That's a polite way to say
it. But, it is one of those things where it's like, how much money is Toronto putting up for a WNBA team or things like that? I honestly think showing out in those kind of exhibition games helps grease the wheels of like, you put a product here and we're going to support it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, let's get into a little bit of the madness that happened this last week. Let's talk about Ennis Kanter. So he was online kind of being a bit mocking, talking about how he was going to declare himself for the WNBA draft and declare himself a woman, obviously an anti-trans position that he was taking. Then he went to a Chicago Sky game with a t-shirt with the dictionary definition of a woman, went to the court and started antagonizing Natasha Cloud. He was then kicked out of the game, of course. The Sky have since banned him from all future Chicago Sky games, which it's like, oh, look, like, one of the things I didn't think I'd say this season is look at the Chicago Sky stepping up. So that's nice to be able to say when we can say it. So it's important that we do that. I have some thoughts, but Andrew, you're our guest, so you can start. How does it feel for you when you see this kind of mockery taking place during a WNBA game?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And to do it to Natasha Cloud too, where I think it was planned of whether it was in Ennis Kanter's camp or whoever, to have him go to a Sky game, because Tosh is one of the most outspoken like allies of the LGBTQ community out there. She's been that way since pretty much the second she got in the league. And just a couple of weeks ago, she said, like, for anyone that is trans, they're struggling, like basically like I'll ride with you until the end. It just doesn't seem like a coincidence that then 2 weeks later Ennis Kanter is there. I think it's unfortunate for the game because this year has been one of the best like game in, game out products the WNBA has ever put out. Scoring is up. The freedom of movement stuff has made it more exciting. It's for new fans, it's more familiar. It looks like the NBA game more than it has in the past. And you just have like tons of storylines, whether it's Toronto or Portland getting new teams, Olivia Miles in Minnesota, Fee coming back, Asia Wilson maybe having her best season. The New York Liberty are struggling. Phoenix fell off a cliff. Paige Beckers and the coaching staff in Dallas. Like there are just hundreds of storylines that this league could go off of that are powerful and important and like captivating for casual fans and audiences. Yet, unfortunately, just like the CBA did last year, just like some of the dildo throwing did 2 years ago, it's just like other kind of issues that have arisen with this league over the past really 5 to 6 years. The majority of people talking about it are just talking about the social issues or the power dynamics, or, you know, it's lost money its entire history. Well, now that's not a storyline. So we'll talk about the trans language in the CBA. And as someone that like covers it, as someone that's like on the beat covering the Lynx, I'm there at the Target Center 3 or 4 nights a week doing stuff. It's just really unfortunate. And I think diehard fans get it. I think WNBA curious fans, I think, can push through it. But like the casual fan that watched Angel Reese at LSU is probably getting really turned off by all the like narrative talk and it's never going to tune in for a game, which that's the unfortunate part, right? Because one thing about basketball and sports is like it is one of the few things in the world that like brings people together. And a lot of people that need to be brought together are just never going to give it a chance because, you know, whether it's cable news stations or Twitter trolls or Instagram influencers, it just doesn't get covered in the way that's going to bring those people in.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, that's such a great, thorough answer, Andrew. Like, I know, I really like. I honestly can't add anything like that. Just you could like, there's so many quotables in there. I think what I'll say, I'm going to take a little bit of a detour here.
Yeah.
So me and my wife, we had our 18-year anniversary this weekend.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. And you know, we didn't really plan that well, and it was sort of like, oh shit, okay, we're doing this with the toddler. And so it was a Sunday, and we just decided that we were going to go to this place called Piano in Toronto, and we were going to go to their Sunday drag brunch. So it's a brunch. There's drag performers. It's very lovely. And, you know, we just walked away from that and just reflected on how loving an atmosphere it was, how fun it was, how accepting it was. And we, you know, we don't go out to eat as much with like having a toddler, and like people are pretty chill, they're pretty nice, whatever. But this was like to have like drag performers going around and doing like death drops while we're getting like orange juice filled up, and like our toddler sort of like almost falling off the table, and just to feel so welcome, and to give him money to give to them. It was just so sweet. Everyone was so happy to see a kid there. And I just couldn't help but thinking that like this is what the queer community is all about. And it's so loving and wonderful. And to see it portrayed the way that we're seeing it in the WNBA. And, you know, you're saying before the podcast, before we're recording, like for the W to be like a cudgel and to be this sort of like negative space where people are putting hate on and using it as a wedge issue or a vehicle or whatever, it's really painful, and it really doesn't reflect what the league is about, and obviously the queer community. So I just wanted to share that it's like this sounds like sort of like lame and cliche, but in a moment where we have like Ennis Kanters, it's like I do think it is also important for like all of us to regulate and like support your trans friends, support your queer friends, and support good things as well as condemning, you know.
That was quite the detour, Freddie.
I would piggyback off of that and just I'd just piggyback. Sorry, Catherine. I'd just
No, all
piggyback
good.
off of that and just say, like, the WNBA space. That's the best thing about it is, like, it is so inclusive. I mean, I
Mhm.
was at the Stud Buds night last year, where the Lynx gave out pink wigs, and there was
Yes.
12,000 people wearing pink wigs, whether you
Yeah.
were a 73-year-old conservative man or whether you were a
Yeah, exactly.
19-year-old blue-haired liberal woman. Like,
Yeah,
everyone was wearing pink wigs. Everyone was screaming Pink Pony Club. Like, it was awesome. And
that's great.
this year, Indiana comes to town and all of the kind of circus around that. And once the game tips off, you're just looking into the crowd, and it's like people in Caitlin Clark jerseys are like standing up and oohing and awing when Olivia Miles throws a pass. And, there's no fights in the arena. There's no like spattering or like yelling at each other. It's just, even though polar opposite people, they're all just watching a basketball game.
Mm.
And that's what's so unfortunate, is it's one of the very few places like in the world right now where you just can escape, and to see it be used from the outside, like you said, as a cudgel, or like you said, to like defame people that really are, for the most part, like a really nice, inclusive community. It just sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
I'll just add that I think the league in moments like that really should make a statement, especially
Mhm.
something that happened in a game. Like, I'm kind of disappointed that the league didn't respond to that. I think he should be banned from all games, not just Chicago Sky games. He needs to be banned from all games. And they need to send a message that, like, they won't tolerate this. Like, it's like, look, like, we have these, like, random, like, Sophie Cunningham, like, sad little rallies happening outside these arenas. And it's like, technically, that's their right. I don't, like, obviously, I don't agree with anything they're saying or standing for. That
Mhm.
is technically their right. You cannot disrupt a game. You cannot bring that into the arena. You cannot harass players. Like, I just feel like, I'm looking around, and I mean, I don't mean to like dunk on Kathy Engelbert again, but like, I think this is like a really serious critique of her in the league. Like, you can't just watch that happen and not make a statement. And I think, like, as fans are upset at, rightfully so, and it's so easy to get caught up in these issues. I myself am guilty of that. I feel like we got to call out the league to do a better job defending these players. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, like, obviously in the game you have, you have your security, like, security responded quickly, all of that was well handled, but like, the league can't just sit back and watch this.
If it was just some random 7-foot tall guy that
Mhm.
stood up, put a foot on the court, and like did the like punking thing to one of the players, that guy would get charged. Like,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think there would be like a police report for like that. Like, it would be a no-brainer to be banned. Like, I see it again. I'm sure you guys see it. I don't know how rowdy Tempo fans are, but like, everyone, Lynx give out red cards to people. If you're acting crazy and you're, stepping over the sideline when you're on court side, you get a red card, you do it again, you're out. And then it's done. Like, I just think of if
I
someone
need
did
to
that
know
at
more
a
about
Lynx
this
game.
red card system.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We
We don't have that here.
and that sounds great. I'm
We
not
haven't
gonna lie.
needed that here.
The Lynx have a thing called the Lexus Club, and if you sit courtside or in the amenity of courtside, so like the first 4 rows up anywhere, you get like all you can eat food before the game, all you can drink during the game, and
Oh
they have
yeah,
a system for those rowdy,
they're drunk.
intoxicated fans where they will give
That's
a
right.
red card saying like, this is your one and only warning for not following fan conduct. And then if you continue it, they're like, you're out. Like, you're done. Go home.
I
So
need
I
to
just
know
think
there's
like, if
also a
somebody
yellow
stepped
card.
on the court and like lunged at Nafisa
Yeah.
Collier, that guy's probably like, I don't even know if he'd get out of the stadium. Okay. I mean, Lynx fans are very protective of their players. But like, to your
Yeah.
point, like, this is I mean, I'm very critical on Kathy. I mean, I was at the 2024 finals press conference where Cheryl, goes, that bleep was stolen from us. And in the next room over, you have Kathy giving them a trophy in the Liberty or New York skyline dress. I was at the Commissioner's Cup game where Kathy Engelhart
It
didn't
was
show
so
up.
presumptuous. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the dress. We
Last
talked
year,
about that dress.
Last year, the Lynx hosted the Commissioner's Cup. She didn't show up for the game. I mean, didn't do a press conference. There's not a lot of love lost for Minnesota media and Kathy. And I completely agree. Like this is a moment where you put out a statement of like don't even say Ennis, fan interaction like this will not be tolerated. That's all it would take. But I do think it's a sign of where this league is, where I don't know if they're even giving Engelhart the power to do those type of statements. I get the feeling that her contract is not going to get renewed after this year.
Yeah, somebody then.
Right.
Some like league office representation.
There's an intern somewhere that could type it up.
Just to like cross our T's and dot our I's. A quick Google here. On the 24th, there was this statement. From it was from the where was it? It was from Colin Salau of Front Office Sports. The WNBA called Freedom's recent antics, which include declaring for the WNBA draft, including him showing up in his publicity stunts, saying it's not going to give oxygen to efforts designed to mock the league or use this topic to demean and marginalize others. And then the follow-up was, the league continued that it will not allow outside pressure or manufactured controversy to dictate league processes. So
that's all fine and good, but it's not enough.
So my pushback would be, as someone that covers the league daily, I didn't know that came out.
Me either.
It's like a WNBA official Twitter, have a press conference.
Yeah.
Put it out.
You have to grab the bull by the horns here. Like you can't sort of dance around this. Like it's a sort of like an attack on your product and your players. So you really have to like stand up for them.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. I think if we're good there, we can move on. Talk a little Lynx.
Yeah, I think we came in hot. We needed to,
We had to.
We met the moment.
We met the moment.
Okay, let's talk about the Lynx. I think they've proved a lot of people wrong this year. Not everyone predicted them number one. I think most people didn't. The whole like Nafisa being out raised a lot of question marks, and then Olivia Miles goes on a historic run. Nafisa Collier comes back. They haven't skipped a beat. Seems like Kayla McBride has really stepped up this year as well. Andrew.
Howard.
Yeah. Like, just, are you like tasting a championship already? Like, where are you at right now?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just doing a podcast earlier today with Britt Robson, who writes for Racket locally here in Minnesota, and we were just both kind of talking about like there isn't an excuse this year, right? Like 2024, this is a new team. There's so many new faces, Lan, Courtney, T, what's this going to look like? There's kind of a surprise that they got there. And then New York City skyline, that bleep was stolen from us, quote. And, the Lynx can point at that and say like, we got robbed, right? Last year, number one offense, number one defense, had the 1 seed clinched by like 8 games left in the season. Dominant team. I wrote a piece on it last year of just like going back historically. If you compare a team to their peers in the league of the same year, the Lynx are like pound for pound. That 2025 team is one of the best teams in the history of the league. But Nafisa Collier blows out her ankle against the Aces. Dejanay Carrington's dealing with shoulder stuff going into the postseason. Alana Smith is dealing with back stuff. Fee doesn't really come back full, looking like she's at her full powers. And I think you can, the team can write that off of being like, we just came in injured. It wasn't, what do you do? Injury luck. This year, they've been one of the healthiest team in the league outside of Nafisa, and they've been dominant. I mean, number 2 offense, number 3 defense, number 1 in net rating, plus minus. I think they're like 3rd in effective field goal percentage. They're up there in assisted turnover. They're pretty much unbeatable. I mean, they won 16 out of 17 before they lost to Golden State last, and even that 16 out of the last 18 games, 2 losses since the beginning of July. That's wild. It does feel like it is their year. It feels like they have put together a team of a lot of players that are familiar with each other. I mean, Natasha Howard's played with a lot of people in Turkey, Nia Coffey from Minnesota. Really easy game. They keep their top, their big 3 of Court, Mac, and Fee, and then Liv is just this connector that fits with everybody. It really does feel like this is a year where, unless something injury-wise happens, it feels like this is a year where if they don't win, we're going to be looking back at this as one of kind of the biggest like missteps in the modern WNBA, because they are so dominant. I mean, the gap from the 1 seed to the 2 seed is 4 games. The gap from the 2 seed to the 8 seed is 4 games. I mean, it's a Lynx team that is just blown through everybody. They won the series against the Valkyries, the Aces. I would assume they're going to split with Indiana after the break and win the season series against them. It does feel like it's a championship type team. And the other thing is just the vibe is different. Like last year, it felt like anxious kind of all season where, power of friendship team. I think a lot of them knew they were going to be moving on after the season. And it was like, this is our chance to do it, kind of urgency feeling. This year, it's like they're just going out and hooping and happening to beat teams by 20, which is such a different vibe when, it doesn't feel like they're just pressuring or trying super hard to do this. They quite frankly can goof around and then play like 5 good minutes of basketball and win some of these games, which honestly, Toronto, unfortunately, when we had the home away back to back, is kind of, you guys saw it firsthand where they just kind of mess around for half the game and then they're like, well, better win it, and then it's over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have Maya Caldwell showing up as Spider-Man, I feel like the vibes are pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
those pictures were kind of incredible, though.
So great.
Shout out to Gabe, the photographer that does the entrance shots. He crushed
that. Like, just like your team's like chill if someone's just like, hey, it's a cosplay day for me. You know what I mean? Like that's
for her. It wasn't like a theme for the night or anything like that. It was just really random. It's almost like I ran out of fits. Let me just throw on the Spider-Man real quick.
Totally. And like also like I got the poses, so like get ready.
Yep.
Have you seen her husband's Real House Husbands of the WNBA? Even though it's awesome. It's mostly a get ready with me video. But just the fact that he frames it that way is really cool.
I think I asked Maya about it before the All-Star break, and she was just like, yep, that's my husband. Which, relatable.
That's so great.
Can I ask you, like, to the point of like just messing around and deciding when they're going to win the game, is there any room for, like, do you think this team has any like potential to mess around too much, or are they too good, and when it's the playoffs and when the games are serious, like that is not going to happen? Because I think, just a quick comparison, we saw that a little bit with the Aces last year, and when the Aces were in town this year, they were talking about like, yeah, we haven't really touched the type of basketball we can play. So I'm just curious, watching a lot of Minnesota games, like, it doesn't seem like the record doesn't feel like they're messing around. But could they sort of like sleepwalk into an accidental loss, or do they have that like step on your throat vibe as well?
Yeah, I think up until the Sparks game, I was really worried about this. Of they win 10 in a row and they're kind of squeaking these games out. I mean, you again, no disrespect to Toronto, but like this Lynx team should beat Toronto by 20.
No offense taken. It's okay.
It's just when you're looking
I'm
at
pretty
teams in
offended.
the
I can't believe we didn't beat you.
but they go on this 10-game win streak, and you're looking at it, and it's like a 4-point win against the Mercury, a 3-point win against the Storm. Both of the first tempo game was a win by 7, and all of those kind of had the vibe of like they're just going to hit enough. They feel like they can just hit enough shots to pull away when they need to. And then they play the Sparks game. And after the game, Cheryl Reeve comes to the post game and says every single player at every position was terrible. Every player at every position. And I think that was like the shot across the bow that they needed, because then they come out, they beat the Aces, they beat Dallas, they beat Indiana, they go out and they beat Golden State in Golden State. And they've kind of proven that like when we're locked in, we can beat anybody. And that's alleviated a lot of that concern, because it's like it's hard to beat the Aces twice in a row. Like it's hard to go from playing Las Vegas to playing Dallas. I think they played 26 hours later. They went from Vegas at home to Dallas at home. Like that's tough, but this team did it, and they won those games, which to me just says like, maybe that loss against the Sparks was enough to humble them. They also lost, most recently to Golden State here. And I think that one is also kind of a needed loss of, hey, like, even though we don't have Courtney Williams, we got to execute well, or else one of these teams can steal one from us, which, I'm not a big moral victory guy. A loss is a loss, but I do think those losses, they at least learned from it and like put that knowledge in place to prove that they're not a team that's just going to like sleepwalk into the first round.
Yeah, I like that you brought out that Golden State game as well, because I believe it was the first time they had beat Minnesota, like in their franchise. And it felt like one of those games where they were like, I mean, I don't know if this will work, but it felt like they were like, oh, we have confidence now. It felt like one of those for them. Like, yes, now we know we can beat the Lynx. And I want to know from your perspective, I know the Lynx have dominated, but like, is there a team in the league where you're like, oh, like if the Lynx saw them in the playoffs, that might be a sleeper of a tough matchup, or not even a sleeper, just like that's going to be the tough matchup for them?
First off, shout out to the Valkyries. 0-9 before that game. They lost all 4 last year, then got swept in the playoffs, lost the first 3 this year. Like, going into the playoffs, if you're 0-10 against a team, that's
rough.
Not,
yeah, they needed that monkey
that's
off
rough
their back.
if you meet them in the finals. Yeah. So shout out to them. I mean, the Lynx are interesting because their offense, I don't know how you could stop it. Like I've asked Cheryl about it. I've speculated about it a lot, but like they have 5 players who were in the All-Star game this year or last year. They have Olivia Miles and Courtney Williams, who both, I mean, Court was an all-star point guard last year, and now she's an all-star shooting guard. Kayla McBride was an all-star last year, proving to be one of the best shooters in the league this season. Natasha Howard, all-star this year, one of the best bigs. And then Fee, back-to-back MVP runner-up. Like, I don't know how you slow that down on offense. They can pace, they can read zones. Liv just kind of has this supercomputer where like during halftime, Lindsay Whalen takes her off to the side and shows her a bunch of clips. And then Liv will come back out in the second half and like everything will be fixed. It's just like offensively, it's just kind of something I've never really seen before covering basketball, of just how well they adjust in game and how unbeatable they are. Defensively, they're really small. Like, Natasha Howard is their center. Dorka Juhas has not played very well. I would be surprised if she plays in the playoffs, which means like your backup center is Nia Coffey or Fee, and that's their post rotation going in. And when you're looking at teams like Atlanta or teams like Las Vegas, if the Liberty caught them in the first round, if Washington is on a heater and catches them into the first round, like teams that can just like physically beat the Lynx up, I think are the ones that worry me the most, because that's what Phoenix did last year. They just came in and they just, they knew Lan had a little bit of a back injury, so everyone's hand checking her back. They know Fee has some ankle injuries. They're going to run her in every pick and roll. And if a team is physical enough, I think they can mess with this team or get them off kilter to where they are worried about that physicality. That being said, the last time the Lynx played the Aces, Nalissa Smith scored 20 points. And to kind of counteract Smith being so big, they just put her in pick and rolls against Liv in 3 consecutive plays and got 3 layups. And then the Aces had to say, well, we have no chance with our second leading scorer on the floor tonight. I guess we'll just put in, Jewel Lloyd and play 4 guards because we can't handle it. So size is the issue for me.
Smith is injured right now.
Exactly.
I don't know how long, but she went down pretty recently.
Yeah, with a knee thing, which maybe the FIBA break helps that, but like to me, those big teams I think have the best chance at the Lynx, but the Lynx also have shown this ability to just play bigs off the floor by just attacking them relentlessly and getting them in pick and roll. So again, it's really hard to think of a team that I would take over the Lynx in a 7-game series. I mean, that's part of being the 1 seed and having I think they have a minus 120 odds to win the finals. So better than 50% chance by sports books. But if someone's going to do it, it's probably because they beat the crap out of them.
Yeah. So when we were thinking about questions to ask you, the what was running through my mind is, I said this before, I think the Mystics are going to hurt people. And I don't think that they're going to win necessarily, but I think that if you go up against Shakira Austin, and Kiki, you are going to be, you're just going to be in pain. So I don't know what that means, but I feel like there might be injuries or bruises or whatever. And yeah.
Let's not get all Tanya Harding about it.
Well, yeah, but, I don't think they're dirty or anything like that. How is Minnesota done against the Mystics?
Yeah, they won the most recent game against them and did it pretty convincingly, like a double digit lead, won it by double digits. A lot of what they did, which to your point, Courtney Williams got injured in that game, came down and got a foot sprain. Her dad says she's fine. Like the worst PR in the world is Courtney Williams' dad, who just talks to all the season ticket holders all game. But but that's
okay, we got to keep things under wraps. He's like, no worries, Courtney's fine.
Yeah, literally. It's like, hey, don't tell anyone she might be back for Atlanta. And then her dad's just telling everyone she's just taking a rest day. But it's Washington poses a lot of issues just because they are so physical. The Lynx get a lot of offensive rebounds against Washington. You're not really getting those because they're just boxing out better. The pick and rolls when you're running into Kiki or Shakira that, they suck. I agree with you. It looks like it physically hurts to try and run through those screens. That being said, the Lynx, I think they have a 2-1 record against them this year. And in this most recent game, they just, again, isolated, put the bigs in kind of the blender and then hit shots over them or blew by them, which I don't know how sustainable that is. If Washington and the Lynx met in a 7-game series, I think that would be frustrating. If Washington's the 7 seed, upsets Golden State, blows past Vegas, and we're in a championship matchup, I wouldn't like that, because I think over 7 games, someone is going to get hurt playing against that team. And like you said, it's not because they're dirty. It's just because they're so big and physical and strong. That being said, in like a 3-game series where you don't get like the body blows of having to play them game after game after game, like if they were the 8 seed, I would feel pretty confident the Lynx would be able to get rid of them in 2.
Right.
Yep. That's fair.
I want to ask you about Olivia Miles, just because it would be weird to have a Lynx segment and not talk about Olivia Miles, honestly. She's had such an impressive rookie season, as we know. I mean, when we were talking about the Lynx possibly winning a championship, I was like, she could win finals MVP. Like, I think that's like very much on the table. I mean, only Candace Parker has won a regular season MVP as well as rookie of the year and a finals MVP, which is just insane. I mean, how would you rank her season so far, like all time?
I mean, for rookies, I would even put her above Candace. I
Ooh!
mean, I know that sounds insane, but it's just like having watched the Lynx system for like 3 years, everything is the point guard. Like every time bringing the ball up, you're organizing the offense, you're shouting out plays, you're shouting out reads. Every play starts with a pick and roll, usually with the point guard. And then on defense, it's the exact same thing. Like Cheryl trusts her point guards to call out like backline defenses and call out like where people should be rotating. And like Liv's a rookie and doing that better than, I mean, anyone. I mean, even like Lindsay Whalen will sit there and be pretty honest saying like, yeah, I couldn't do most of the stuff that Liv was doing, even in my prime. And I think that's for me why it's so impressive, just because like pre-draft, I'll be completely honest, like I eliminated Olivia Miles from my mind because I literally just said there's no way Cheryl could have a rookie point guard. She's never had one. The only like borderline point guard was Dangerfield, and Cheryl kind of, you know, that ended pretty fiery. And Courtney Williams has been doing a good enough job at it that I was like, it's FUD or fam. And, you know, we'll see which way it goes based off of Dallas. And then when they picked Liv, I mean, Cheryl in that draft kind of press conference said, we just feel she has a generational ability and we couldn't pass on it. And then you see like Courtney and K-Mac both sit there in training camp going like, no, she's the leader of the team. Like it's her car. Natasha Howard sitting there saying like, she can get me the laces perfectly on a no-look bounce pass to where I have the laces how I like them going up for a layup. Like the stuff she does is just insane. And I think unless you're watching it every game, you can look at it and you can be like, she had 18 points, 7 assists, couple rebounds. That's not a bad game. But it's just so much more than that, where, you know, if she wasn't on this team, I think they'd still be really good. But like the reason they're the 1 seed and not the 6 seed is because of Olivia Miles. Now, all that being said, I'd vote for Asia. The Aces,
yeah,
the Aces are just not a good team, and Asia Wilson is dragging them to a 3 seed. Like what she has done this year is insane. But in terms of like rookie seasons, I think Liv has put together the best rookie season in the W, like period, to be honest.
I saw this like side by side stats, and it was like, you know, Paige's season and Caitlin's season and Candace's season and Stewie and these like all-time seasons. And I think like one thing that really just was like, you know, I've been watching Liv like everybody else, but I guess I feel like I underestimated the scoring volume and the efficiency. Pardon me. Like to see her score more than any of those players and more efficiently, like the shooting splits was well, I sort of was like, okay, I sort of understood I was watching an all-time rookie season. And that was the moment where I'm like, oh, this does need to be talked about as potentially the best rookie season ever. And
if she shot 3% better from the free throw line, she would have the 3rd ever 50-40-90 season.
Wow.
Like, that's insane. Like that's insane.
I think there might be some fatigue of like greatest rookie seasons ever because of Caitlin Page Liv too. I wonder if that's a part of
Yeah, you
it.
could add
Where,
Aaliyah Boston to that too. Like we've seen like consecutive, like
yeah,
phenomenal rookies. Yeah.
exactly. It's like, so it's just sort of like each year it's like, wait, is this the best? Wait, is this the best? So I think that might be, I mean, I'll just say for me, I might have some of that being like, oh, well, Minnesota's great. And, like the team's stacked, and not really giving her enough credit for, like, hearing you talk about like the responsibilities of the point guard is kind of like, yeah, that does hit home, just like how just ridiculous and special and unique she is, even separately from how good this team is.
I would add to that too. It's like the way the Lynx players, like just as you described, like Courtney Williams and everything, like declaring her the leader of the team in preseason. Like I don't recall a time when that has been bestowed upon a rookie and it wasn't like a tanking team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that adds to it. And also like I mean we'll wrap this part of the conversation up, but I'll just say that like her confidence in her demeanor has impressed me in addition to that. Like she doesn't play like there's pressure on her shoulders. You know what I mean? She just like kind of plays freely, and she plays like older than she is. And I think just all of that combined, she's just so impressive.
It's like, it's like an artist, right? Like some people are just really good at art, and you can sit there and like practice and practice and practice your drawing and stuff like that. And you might never be as good as someone that's just naturally gifted at drawing. And that's how I feel a lot with Liv, especially like talking to her, because she can explain this stuff. Like I sat there and like had conversations with her where I'm like, what do you see? Like, what are you looking for when you bring the ball up and you like just like distinguish what's happening and make this split second decision to like no look drop past something to someone? And she's like, I have no clue. Like, it's just instinct. And that to me is like, at some point she's going to understand it, right? And then what happens, right? When she starts to like has the like limitless pill thing and the iris like focuses in and you're going Jimmy Neutron into her brain, like when she's 28 or 29 and she actually like understands the like power she has, going back to the Spider-Man references, I don't know what the league does, because right now she's doing all this just like off of instinct and coaching, which again, I don't know what the league does if she can figure it out to the point where she's like, fully grasping how good she is.
That's amazing. All right, Freddie, I think it's time. Oh wait, we didn't react to the mascot yet. I was going to do your fun question.
Oh yeah, let's do a quick hit on this Portland mascot.
Okay, so Portland, they showed off their mascot. She's a dragon. Her name is Rose. She breathes glitter, shoots out glitter like fire. For me, this is a hit. I thought this is clean. This is straightforward. This makes sense. She looks really cute. She's not creepy. I like that she's very girly. This is also what I like about Violet. Like, I like that Violet's really like kind of unapologetically girly. Like, I don't know. I just appreciate that. And I love the glitter of it all. And this is way better than my marshmallow idea last week, because I was thinking about fire.
Oh yeah.
And
I forgot about the marshmallow idea.
I knew I was out on a limb here. Dragon is significantly better. Well done. Those are my thoughts.
Andrew,
what were your thoughts on the Tempo mascot?
Oh, we did a whole podcast.
There's a lot there.
I'll say this, being there and having filmed it, it was a roller coaster, because like, the first mascot comes out and we're like, wait, a rabbit, a hare, what's going on here? Like, that's been done. Catherine commented, it's like the Aces already have a
rabbit.
Like, what's the deal here? Second mascot comes out, and listen, I grew up like loving wrestling, so when it was like
very wrestling,
when it was sort of like when it's like it's going like, and then like from the top of the stadium. The other mascot comes out. It's non-binary. Like it's like there's so. It was just it ended up being a hit for me because the boldness of doing two mascots. I'm like, and I think there's a lot of room to grow there. I'm not convinced they won't get into a relationship. I think things can get real weird real quick, and I like that. Yeah, I know we're bouncing out. What's your take on the Temple mascot? I'm curious from outsiders. Are they like,
I think it's clever, like the tortoise and the hare Tempo. I was very confused when the Tempo was announced as the team name of like, how in the world are they gonna, like, is it just gonna be like a musical note, or like what is it even gonna be? So I think given the team name, they did an awesome job. Yes. Better than I expected, to be completely honest. Like in the back of my head, I was like, it's just going to be like Terry the T, and it's just going to be a giant T.
Yeah, or like Freddie Fever or whatever. Like it's just going to be like a thing. Yeah.
So I was impressed. I thought you guys, like, they did a good job with it. Portland, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I feel like
I think it's better than having like a rose bush or something weird like that. Like it's a good mascot.
I actually joked about it being like, because I was doing a lot of like Portland Googling, and it's like, oh, there's lots of moss and like Oregon
nature
Trail, and I'm like, okay, it's sort of like, although
like a sequoia tree, like that would be.
Although for me, the Stanford tree, it's one of the best mascots there is. Like just a tree with eyes. Come on, like that's good shit.
Freddie, I should mention, I don't plug this on basketball podcasts usually, but I am credentialed with the WWE too.
Oh, that's incredible.
So if you ever start a wrestling pod, got to interview a couple people at SummerSlam here in Minneapolis. So yeah.
Oh my God, you got it all.
Awesome. That would be with someone else. I will just say that's with someone else. I don't know anything about wrestling, but that's very cool. Freddie, your thoughts on the dragon?
Oh, just for me it's a hit. I like the scales. Wasn't blown away, but I think like fire as glitter. It's nice,
I wasn't blown away, but I'm like, she's cute. I like it.
And it's not a mascot where you're sort of like, whoa. But I also feel, we've talked about this before, I also feel like a lot of mascots, like they don't start, like they need to develop a personality. So, we saw with Ellie, like the Ellie we know now is so different than the Ellie that like was introduced, right? So I think we need to see where the mascot takes it. But okay, let's do my FFQ, my Freddy's Fun question. So I'm just gonna read this out as a preface for people who are gonna find my question insane. But getting into the I first of all, big Prince fan, always been a Prince fan, and for those who don't know, in 2015, when the Lynx won it all, Prince actually took the team to his estate, Paisley Park. He had like limos and like party buses, and he brought the championship team to his place. And at 12:30 a.m., he did a performance for them that went, I think, till like 4 a.m. It was like a full wild party. And famously served them all pancakes at the end because he's Prince. So I thought
he serves everyone pancakes at the end, I guess.
Lindsay Whalen, her rumor has it her ankle was so swollen that she couldn't even take her shoes off. So she was just in her like basketball shoes the entire time for this 7-hour Prince concert. Probably very intoxicated. I'm sure she was fine. But they had to wear her basketball shoes the entire time, or else her like ankle would have exploded.
That's so it's one of the most wild stories. And anyways, it just made me think like, Prince RIP, right? But like in a world where Prince is still alive and this current Lynx team wins it all, what's the stories that come out of this team partying at Paisley Park with Prince?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's
Have you guys seen the I think it was Nikias that asked Courtney over All-Star break what she did with her money when she first got it from the new CBA?
I didn't
No,
see
what did
that.
she say?
She bought out a strip club. Like literally went to a strip club and she goes, I'm probably on the wall there for how much money I spent.
She should
Like,
be.
the Courtney Williams stories that would come out of a Paisley
Yeah.
Park like mansion party
Yeah.
would be insane.
Like
I saw her.
Heidemann showing up first of all.
Yeah,
She would just be there. Like,
she
that's
would
just
just be
a given.
there. She was talking to Holly Rowe about like those vitamin B12 shots or
Mhm.
whatever, like those like IVs that you can get, that they were doing that during All-Star weekend so they could keep going. Just saying, she was very upfront about that.
She's told us multiple times that before she signed with the Lynx, she never even worked out. Like, never worked out, never ran, just went out and hooped, hung out. Then she signed with the Lynx and Cheryl was like, no, you gotta like eat protein and not just like vibe and play video games.
That's so nuts. Yeah, like I also yeah, famously there was like a no phone policy, and like one of my takes is like I don't know if that flies with this team. Like I think we're getting
Fee records a lot of stuff. I think there would be a lot of like AI Cheryl accusations. That's been something that's been going on for the last couple of years, where Cheryl gets caught doing something embarrassing and then she blames it on AI. Kayla McBride, I think, would sneakily be kind of funny because she's so like mild mannered and focused that I bet after a championship party, she is going to be just like gone. Maya Caldwell, obviously, I think
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, there'd be stories coming out from her. But
Lindsay Whalen sprains her ankle again.
I mean, Lindsay Whalen will be there. She's on the staff
as a coach. Same deal. Same ankle issue.
Yeah, she's got to be back. I mean, I think like the lore of Lynx players, like the vets, like they should be there. You know, like when like a team wins a championship and then like all the the legendary players come and they celebrate. Like they're invited in my world. I will add. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
The weird thing with the Lynx is like they're there like all like obviously Lindsay Whalen's on the coaching staff, Rebecca Brunson's on the coaching staff, Janelle McCarville's on the coaching staff, but like Katie Smith just like shows up at practices like multiple times a year. You'll go in for a practice scrum and it's just like, oh, Katie's here today, just wandering around. Simone Augustus during the like non-recruiting phase for LSU is there like all the time. Like before Syl got hired by Portland, she would be at practices pretty regularly. Like all of those original Dynasty people are just like around, which I have no reference because covering the Timberwolves, there's like no one of relevance to be around. But like the Lynx, it's just like a family atmosphere. Just every once in a while, like Aunt Syl shows up to throw some wisdom down and then wanders off.
I was gonna say how present is Sylvia and Maya?
Maya, not so much, but that's also like from what I've heard from people that like covered Maya back when she was playing here is that she just kind of does her own thing. Like she doesn't like the spotlight. She's living in Missouri now. Yeah. Syl, again, prior to this season, Syl was there. I mean, I would say she's probably at like 7 or 8 games a year, home games.
Yeah. And she's working because we where do we see her, Catherine? She's on
Portland now.
Yeah, she's with Portland now.
But like again, like Simone Augustus, they're a lot, like just hanging out kind
of. Going back to Prince, just to put a little bow on this.
Sure.
So obviously like the party's gonna be phenomenal. My little yes and to this is that my favorite Prince song is Diamonds and Pearls. I love Diamonds and Pearls. So obviously like we need some custom jewelry here. And I feel like we need something that is like a combination of the Prince symbol and the Lynx. combined for them celebrating the championship. I feel like it could be like a big piece, like on a chain. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the ring, it's not the championship ring, but it's like everybody just gets like a giant ass chain with like Prince, Lynx, the year. You got to throw in some pearls somehow, but I trust a designer to do it right. And, you know, you could even have like you could have a sliver of purple, but I mean, that's not really a Lynx color. But regardless of that, it's like this custom jewelry would go so viral at the end of this phenomenal party. So that's my little what I'm adding to this.
You know what's really weird? And I just kind of thought about this. The Lynx have never had like a Prince like collab. Like they play Prince during the game, obviously, like every team in Minnesota does. But like the Minnesota Twins, the baseball team has twin like Prince Night, where the T of Twins is the Prince logo.
I'm surprised to
Like,
hear that.
the
I'm surprised to
Wolves-
hear they don't do a Prince
Yeah.
night.
The Wolves, their City Edition jerseys last year had like the Prince guitar strap on the side and were like purple and Prince
Wow.
like fonts. The Lynx never have. Maybe it's just because they don't.
They should do like
two, 3 jerseys in the league.
It
But
would be so easy to do Lynx. I mean, it's almost right there, but in the Prince font. Like it would be so easy to do that.
Right there with you.
Thank you.
Printing money if they do it.
Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you, Andrew, so much for joining us. This was such a pleasure, just getting all of this madness into one episode. We appreciate you so much. Please tell our listeners where they can find your stuff, where they can find you on the internets.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Social handle is just ADukemn, ADUKEMN. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I do most of my posting on Twitter, which I know I'm sorry for people that want more Lynx stuff, but like Blue Sky and Instagram just make it such a pain to put like film and stuff like in. So Twitter, for all of their problems, is still a good posting place. So primarily post there, but I do put like notable stuff over on TikTok and Instagram. Written work is for the Lynx is on Zone Coverage and another site called Hitting the Hardwood. For the Timberwolves, it's going to be primarily with Sports Illustrated this year. I do host a post-game live stream for both the Lynx and the Wolves. Missing Lynx for the Lynx, missing Wolves for the Wolves. Come hang out with us. We're on YouTube after every game. Have local Minnesota media guests, national guests, sometimes weird guests. Tim Miller from the Bulwark came and hung out with us one day. Like, try to have a little bit more fun with it. But yeah, for the most part, I think the only thing else I have to plug is Minnesota State Fair. I'll be at one of the booths. It's called the K-Fan booth. Doesn't mean anything to you guys, but for Minnesota people, I'll be at that booth doing the worst case scenario show from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central at the State Fair under the grandstand.
Wow, State Fair.
I know.
Very
I did it
cool.
last year and it was so hot. And this year I am not going to complain about it. I'm going to just I'm gonna challenge myself to not bellyache the entire time.
You got to get one of those neck fans. You know those fans that wrap around your neck? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've debated just volunteering to go in a dunk tank somewhere and just like hang out for a couple hours.
A neck fan just makes me feel hot.
No, it's amazing. It's
okay.
amazing. Life changer. Trust me. Like when I had a wedding in Tobago a few years ago and it was so hot. I don't know what this is in Fahrenheit, but it was like 36 Celsius. It's like it was
Sure.
And humid. Yeah, it's a hot and humid
like
and
high
sticky.
80s,
Yeah, and that neck fan like saved my life on that trip. So anyway, just throwing that out there. Listen, guys, we got to wrap this up or we'll be here all night. But thank you again so much for listening, for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hey, tell your friends. We're here. We're out here. We're doing it. Tempo check. We'll do an episode next week because we went long here, but very worth it. So thank you again, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.